All right, guys. Well, welcome back to my little lock lab. As you can see, I kind of like to collect locks and stuff. Some picks I made and all that. But as we all know, when you're doing lock sport, you're generally at some point in time going to start wanting to or having to film these yourself picking locks, and this can be tricky at times because, I mean, how many times have we spent hours hugging a tripod, and trying to pick a lock and all that? It's all of a nightmare. So this is what happens when machining meets lock picking or lock sport or whatever you want to call it. So this is what I've done as a solution to a camera stand is I've used this. It's actually a magnetic holder. It's called a mag holder for a dial indicator. So it's very adjustable, as you can see, and you can adjust it so you can get your dial indicator on. I don't have one here. They're all in the garage. So I have quite a few of these, and they're relatively inexpensive. It's got a magnetic base and then adjustable arms, which you can then attach your camera or your dial indicator to. And I actually first thought, I'm going to make a video on a budget camera stand. But for anyone doing YouTube videos, you're all really, really, really going to know that making YouTube videos costs money. And that's the thing. It costs money. And it's a lot of times that I'm just scanning over this so you can have a good look, see what's been done. Um, a lot of the time, you know these little things, microphones, and even your relatively inexpensive ones, which is the ones I'm using now, um, that it costs money. All of it costs money. YouTube videos don't come for free. So what I do is, okay, normally I use the matte, but today we're doing a video on veneers. As you can see, I have some of them, just some, not all, just some. And obviously my favorite is the dial type. And yeah, so I got really, really tired of hugging tripods, and poor Ingrid got really, really tired of holding cameras. So, you know, um, this was my solution. So, what is it? It's a magnetic base, and then there's a scrap piece of steel. And this scrap piece of steel is really nice because if we go into there, what you can do is get it for the most setup and then just move it around, and it's going to line. And then I still have to polish this up, like no machinist is satisfied with that. It's a really, really thick chunk of steel. I think it's 5 mil thick. So it's quite heavy. You can hold it. And there's, well, that's quite strong. And then I've just used this array of these adapters. Now, there's a machine shop near us that does secondhand stuff, and these arms and adapters and that you can pick up for really, really cheap. Even some of the magnetic bases, but so any in Facebook Marketplace is full of these things. They're not very expensive. They truly are a fascinating piece of equipment. This is we'll get onto that in a minute. But that is genius. And it is magnetic, and you can switch it on and off. And then we get to the camera holder. So I think let's start at the base over here. So this is a very, very old magnetic holder. And when you push that, it's no longer magnetic. And when you push it back, the newer ones have just got a switch. It's magnetic, which is fascinating because there's no batteries or anything in it. And interestingly enough, an aluminium block interferes with a magnetic field. And so all it is moving an aluminium block over the magnet, or the magnet into an aluminium block. And when it's out of the block, it's magnetic and it holds. When it goes back in, there's no more magnetism, and it stops being magnetic. So these are, it is really, really, really quite fascinating how they've come to develop this. And it's genuine, it's quite a strong magnet. I mean, That movement is the base. I need to sand it down, polish it up, and put some feet on. But I'm not going to do that until I'm done for the day. Today, I'm making videos, catching up a bit on YouTube. And apologies to my subscribers. I've been a bit, lazy on making videos of late. And then you got all your adjustments. They have one screw, and some of them are more fancy. You've got that, but I mean, that's real cheap. You can get them off Temu and all that. You can see I've machined up an extended arm here. But I think a 10 mil, just a 10 mil piece of rod will do it. Some of them are 12, some of them are 10. And then we get to the end bit. Now, this end bit over here is a little piece. And I know not all of you have got a lathe. I know that you don't have that, right? So I'm going to give you the specs. If you need a piece, just take a piece to a local engineering shop and ask them to make up a little extension for you with the thread on it. So this I've put a nut on, which I've made. And this thread is and I'm going to put this in the description. These smaller threads for tripods is a 1/4 inch, which is the diameter, 20 TPI, which is tooth per inch, amount of teeth per inch on the thread, UNC thread. So UNC stands for Unified National Coarse Thread. It's obviously a coarse thread, and that's the American standard. That was the American standard. You got UNC, which is Unified National Coarse, and you got the fine, which is UNF. And this is what was this is what was the standard when they started making cameras and tripods and that. So that is just a standard that's carried through. And it took me forever to figure out exactly, and let me tell you, if it wasn't for ChatGPT, I still wouldn't know, what was the type of thread. So to get this little piece, I mean, the holder is a really nice one. I got it off Take-A-Lot. It's like our local sort of Amazon, and that just screws in gently. I don't want to unscrew it because the phone will fall. And you can actually turn it. There's an adjustment on the back, so over here that you can turn it, portrait landscape, and then it's got a thread there. It's got a thread in there, and so it's very, very versatile. So if you pop off to an engineering shop and you get yourself, ask them to just cut a 1/4 inch 20 TPI UNC thread on it. You're going to have that, and ask them maybe make a little nut depending on the holder you got. Most of them don't have. You just got to tighten it, but then you tighten it and you can adjust it here because these can also turn. And yeah, it's a great piece of kit. So I can adjust, and then also finally move the steel plate. I just got, it's from a scrap piece of steel plate. I got a big one. I cut it in half, one for a camera holder, and the other one for my actual micrometers, so I can have the whole thing set up, and or my dial indicators, and just have it set up and move it into, because you can just move it into position in the lathe. Then you start working, you can move it away, and so that's very useful. And budget maybe not quite, but effective and very stable, yes, absolutely. I've tried all sorts, spoons, a whole lot, and they were just too big, heavy, cumbersome. I mean, this thing can fold up. Let's do that. So I'm just going to loosen that, and it can fold up nicely, and it's completely out of the way. And that's the end of that, which is a bit easier. That's my junk lever lock drawer. It's much easier than that. I mean, I've had these things fall over and break and all sorts. This is so far the best solution that I've come up with. It's going to cost you a bit of time, but as you can see, it really, really holds it out of the way. So you've got freedom, complete movement of your hands here, and the arm isn't in the picture at all. Your camera is just suspended, and I think if you had to buy a professional boom that's going to hold your phone like that, Now you're going to spend a fortune. So rather, you know, give it a go. Look on Facebook Marketplace, get a couple of mag holders, add them up, get someone to make that for you, and job done. Hope this video helps.